Hello, it's Olivia and welcome back to my channel Endless Pages. Today's video, as you can see in the title, is going to be my July wrap-up. Firstly, I hope the audio quality is okay on this video. I got a new mic because I'm in isolation. I've just been spending money that I don't have, so I got a proper, a bit more fancier mic than I was using because the original one I was using was incredibly cheap and crackly. So I hope I've set it up properly and that you can hear me okay. And sorry this is coming out a bit later in August. It's literally, yeah, it's the 4th of August when I'm filming this. I was a bit sick, so I wasn't able to film properly. But yeah, I read 9 books in the month of July, which I am so happy with. I'm on a roll with reading at the moment. I really feel like I found my passion a bit more for it again and my enthusiasm for it. For a while I was just kind of on a book buying spree and not reading as much. So yeah, I've got 9 books here to talk about today. It's not going to be completely in order just because there's a couple of series that I'm just going to talk about together because I feel like I can't talk about them individually for very long, so I've just kind of put them in together in one section. But other than that, I will try to kind of go in order. So let's get into it. So this is actually the first book I read in the month of July, and that is Daughter of the Pirate King by Tricia Levenseller. This is a young adult fantasy book, and it's a pirate book. It's about Alosa, I forgot her name for a second there, and she is daughter of the Pirate King, and she purposely gets captured on an enemy boat to search for a hidden treasure map. I gave this 5 stars. It was really fun. I was kind of reluctant to read it going in because I don't usually read like pirate kind of stories, but it was super fun. The enemies to lovers was a fun aspect as well. The banter between Alosa and Raiden was really fun and kept me intrigued in the book. I think I kind of liked their dynamics and the characters a bit more than the plot at the start, because it is like the start like is fast and then it goes a bit slow in the middle. While she's captured, the pace kind of slows down a bit. Stuff is still happening, but it's a bit slow in the middle and then kind of really picks up at the end again. Massive cliffhanger. I have ordered the sequel, Daughter of the Siren Queen, but I ordered it from the UK, and it is taking forever to come. I ordered it like last month, because I'm filming this in August, and it still hasn't come, so I'm waiting for this sequel. I hope it's good. But yeah, if you're looking for a fun enemies to lovers, it's kind of, it's like not super heavy, it's kind of lighthearted, good banter, fun setting. Yeah, it is a fun read and I really enjoyed it. And then next I finally continued on with the Percy Jackson series. So I read the second book, Percy Jackson and Sea of Monsters, and Percy Jackson and the Titan's Curse. These are both by Rick Riordan and they're from the Percy Jackson series, obviously. This is the second and third book. I'm really liking in the third book that we finally got introduced to some new characters. It changes up the dynamics and really kept me interested in wanting to read more, because I keep seeing fan art of these characters of like Nico and all these other people. So it was cool that I finally got introduced to them. Yeah, I think the introduction of more characters really furthered my love for the series. I think maybe I would have lost interest a little bit without them, so I really enjoyed that. They're, yeah, I don't have much to say about them. They're fun, they're full of adventure, full of awesome information about Greek myths. I love the monsters, I love the villains, and yeah, it's good. It's laugh out loud, funny, and they're middle grade, so they don't take me long to read at all because the language is super easy. Yeah, I'm definitely continuing on with this series and all the, I know there's a bunch of spin-off series as well, and I think I will try and read the next book in August. So this next series is now one of my favourite series of all times, and that is the Heartstopper series by Alice Osman. These are graphic novels. So this month I read volume 2 and then volume 3, and then this was my final read of the month, which was volume 4. this is like now an automatic comfort read. I'm going to read this when I'm sad because it makes me happy. It's just about Nick and Charlie as they kind of work and balance their relationship and their school life and their friends in high school. So wholesome and nice, and the illustrations are adorable. Just even like all of the side characters, and the supporting characters, their friends and families all really have great interesting backstories, and they're not just there, like they have their own stuff going on and they really add to the story in a great way. The fourth book, without getting too spoilery, check the trigger warnings for this book. I can't say from experience the accuracy of mental health and eating disorders in this issue, but I do think it's a great representation of kind of the realistic nature of having mental illnesses, and I think it doesn't sugarcoat it at all, and it doesn't wrap it up to have a happy easy ending, which I think is a great representation. And yeah, it just does a great job of exploring how to support someone with a mental illness or eating disorder, and it does it in its beautiful own way. So this series is a really special series. I would recommend this series to anyone. If you're sad, if you're happy, this is a series to read, and I am thoroughly impressed, and I'm so sad that the next book is going to be the final one. Like, I'm not ready to deal with that at all, and I have to wait until next year for it. It's not fair. So yeah, that is the Heartstopper series. I just realised that I haven't given ratings for any of these so far. So Daughter of the Pirate King by Tricia Levenseller, I gave 4 stars. The Percy Jackson Sea of Monsters and the Titan's Curse, I gave 4 stars each. And Heartstopper Volume 2, 3 and 4, 5 stars each. The next book I read was The Guinevere Deception by Kiersten White. This is a young adult fantasy, and it's a retelling of the Arthur legend. So this one is actually about from the perspective of Guinevere, but it's not actually Guinevere as we know her. She's a changeling who's been put in place to protect Arthur from this kind of magical threat that is looming. I was not like, I wasn't disappointed by the book. Like, I did give it 4 stars. I thought it was a really cool spin on the Arthur legend, and Kiersten White really made it her own, made it really unique. But I feel like there was a lot of build up to this massive like threat, and then like obviously there is a threat, but at the end there was just kind of like left it on a huge cliffhanger, and there wasn't like much action. I don't know, maybe I'm too like in the mindset of the Merlin TV show where there was a lot of action and fight scenes, which is what I love, but there wasn't really that in this book. It was a really long build up where like small little things were happening, but there wasn't like huge major like plot twists or anything like that. There was a big like twist at the end that I did like, but yeah, I kind of felt like it was kind of a massive build up for the sequel, and maybe I'll read the sequel and be like, okay, it was worth it. It was worth like the slow build in this book. I did enjoy it. I gave it 4 stars. I really liked Guinevere's character. I liked Arthur. I liked their like dynamic. But yeah, then the ending was kind of sucked. Yeah, I wanted a big like ending or like a fight or something. But yeah, there was a little bit of a fight at the end, but nothing as dramatic as I wanted it to be. So yeah, I'm gonna read the sequel soon, I hope, and hopefully maybe that will make up for this ending. Then I read These Violent Lights by Chloe Gong. This is a young adult fantasy. It's set in Shanghai in the 1920s, and it's about Juliet and Roma, and they're 2 heirs to feuding gangs, and they kind of they're kind of forced to like work together because there is a monster lurking in Shanghai, killing off members of both the gangs. So yeah, they kind of have to work together to figure out what the monster is, and how to stop it. The enemies to lovers in this book is sensational. So many good scenes, and I was like every time a scene with them came up, I was so happy. Weirdly, I kind of prefer reading from Roma's perspective than Juliet's, because like it kind of swaps perspectives and you get a few perspectives from some of the like the supporting characters as well. But yeah, I really liked reading from Roma's perspective. He was my fave. And yeah, the monster plot was really cool. There's also a lot of like political context in this book, which I really think adds to the layers, and really makes you picture the whole kind of scene and setting of the time of the book. And just Chloe Gong's writing is sensational. Like her descriptions of Shanghai are beautiful and really transport you there. I think she is a very skilled writer. She's only like 23 or something like that, 21, like she's around my age. It's crazy. Yeah, this is a 5-star read. This is an amazing book. Awesome plot, awesome enemies to lovers, sensational writing. I loved this book so much, and I cannot wait for the sequel, Our Violent Ends, which comes out November, I want to say, of this year. Yeah, I recommend this book to everyone. I can't believe I picked it up and put it down ages ago, but I was a bit slumpy back then, but I'm so glad I picked it up now instead. Yes, that's all I can say about this book is yes. So the ninth and final book is The Ones We're Meant to Find by Joan He. This is a young adult science fiction novel. Also look at the water damage. I like dropped a whole bottle of water on this book. I'm a horrible book owner and I'm very annoyed at myself. But anyway, so yeah, I don't normally read science fiction, but I thought I could handle it since it was young adult and not adult. And the plot really interested me. I'll quickly say it's about Casey and C, two sisters. C woke up on the beach of an abandoned island with kind of none of her memories, only that she has a sister called Casey, and she is determined to go and find her. And Casey is actually living in this like eco-city that kind of floats above Earth, and thinks that her sister C is dead. And the reason she's living in this little ecosystem above Earth is kind of because, eco-city, sorry, is because Earth is just kind of overrun with natural disasters. The air and water are toxic, and it's becoming kind of unlivable. So that is the plot of the book. I loved the book, the first part, and then the middle part. I think I just started to tell myself like, I don't know if I'm like struggling with this. It's science fiction, like there's a lot of science talk. But I'm really glad I persevered with this book because it ended up being a 5-star read for me. Like it was fantastic. It's a really like interesting kind of metaphor and discussion about what our actual planet is looking like and what's going to happen on Earth eventually, and kind of I guess an exploration into human selfishness and how this greed is kind of killing the planet. And how humans just have this innate nature to not want to give up these certain standards of living that we're used to, well, some people are used to, and that is kind of going to be our inevitable downfall. So that is kind of what this book explores, at the same time of kind of a dual perspective between Casey and C. Casey kind of dealing with the grief of losing her sister, and C dealing with living on this abandoned island with none of her memories, and kind of working her way and figuring out a plan to get back to her sister. The ending of this book, even though I kind of saw it coming, like it wasn't meant to be a massive surprise. I don't think there was hints throughout, hinting, and I just kind of ignored the hints because I didn't want it to be true. The ending of this book was kind of devastating but great at the same time. It was a beautiful, like, even though the book talked about so much about how humans are selfish and destructive and we're going to be our own downfall, there was still the beautiful like relationship of Casey and C and the power of family and love, and how two completely different people can love each other so much. And yeah, it was a beautiful kind of strange read. I've never read anything like this before. If you like science fiction, this is fantastic. If you like things about the environment. This is fantastic. A 5-star read. It was beautiful. I'm so glad I stuck with it. Like, I couldn't stop thinking about it after as well. This book is so creative and so good. I was so happy I read it this month. And also, as I've said like a million times, the cover just like beautiful, stunning. So that is the ones we're meant to find. Thank you so much for watching my July wrap up video. Let me know in the comments if you've read any of these books, or if you want to read any of them. I'd love to have a chat. And I will see you in the next video. Bye!